Okay, brothers and sisters, our first speaker is a good friend of CWA. During the Verizon strike in Brooklyn, he actually met me at the 60th precinct in Brooklyn and talked to the deputy inspector there to make sure that there was no problems. He's a councilman from Brooklyn, Brad Landers, and a good friend of ours. So Brad, here you go.
Who are you? Let me hear it. CWA. 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 You guys look great today. I can't think of any place I'd rather be on Martin Luther King Jr. Day than standing with workers exercising their right to organize. Is that right? I think this sign makes it pretty clear, right? What does it say workers' rights are? Human rights. Workers' rights. Human rights. Workers' rights. Human rights. Human rights. Human rights. I'm very proud to be a New York City Council member from Brooklyn and to co-chair the New York City Council Progressive Caucus along with Melissa Mark Viverito from East Harlem, who asked me to give her a shout out today as well. Robert Jackson from the New York City Council is here. Elected officials, but especially because I'm from Brooklyn, those workers at Cablevision, they've got the same right to organize that the NBA players have to organize, that the workers at Verizon have to organize, that every worker in this city has to organize. And no matter how cold, no matter how wealthy the CEO, no matter how big the company, we know here we're going to stay standing here until we fight and realize Dr. King's dream, that everybody's got a right to stand up, that everybody's got a right to join a union, that we all have the right to be treated fairly. So, and I think there's nothing more elegant than making clear that we are the 99%, right, that Dr. King stood up for, that we stand up for. So let me hear that right. Who are we? 99%. We are the 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 99%. So I just want to say a big thank you, because there's no better way to celebrate Martin Luther King Day than standing with workers who are standing up and exercising their right to organize. It took courage for CWA to stand up and strike this summer. It's taking courage for those workers at Cablevision to keep pushing for their right to organize. It takes some guts for you guys all to be out here in the cold. It took guts for those workers who went in there today with that 8-foot banner and stood up during the Knicks game to let everybody know Dr. King's dream means we stand up, we stand together. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Chris Shelton.
Good afternoon, brothers and sisters. We're going to get started here, and I'm going to try not to crank you up until later. So we're going to start with a lot of our friends from the world of politics and some of our friends from other unions, of which there are many here today. Some we missed before. I noticed that there are folks from the UAW in the audience. So give a round of applause to United Auto Workers. TWU. And I'm going to bring up the president and a real good friend of CWA and all working people in the city of New York, the president of the RWDSU, the Retail Workers Department Store Workers Union, Stuart Applebaum.
Brothers and sisters, I'm here today with a message for you. You are not in this alone. You have the support of the members of my union and all other unions in New York, because we understand what happens to you happens to all of us, and we have to support each other. We have a message today for the Dolans and Cablevision, and it's simply this, that working people in this city are going to stand together and work together and support each other so that CWA becomes the union at Cablevision. Cablevision. Stand up strong. Stand together. We won't be defeated. Good luck.
Thank you, Brother Stewart. Brothers and sisters, our next speaker, and there's going to be lots of them because there's lots of people that want to show their support for the organizing at Cablevision, want to show their support for the workers at Cablevision. Our next speaker, brothers and sisters, is Councilwoman Tish James from Brooklyn.
We don't mess around up here.
Don't mess around. Hey, CWA, make some noise! So as we commemorate the life of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who died because he was marching for working families, we stand here in the cold. And I'm glad that it's cold out here because it reminds me of our sacrifice and all that we have to do to make sure that we are in the struggle for basic human rights. And I stand with you today, as always, to support your campaign to get unionized. I was just talking to someone recently who said, we're not unionized at another shop, and we are abused over and over and over again. And now is the time, the fierce urgency of now, to unionize workers here. And I stand with you now as we celebrate Dr. Martin Luther King's dream, because the dream lives on in each and every one of you, because the power is in your hands. Unionize now, workers now, families now, living wage now, struggle, decency, and rights for all. Thank you. God bless you.
Our next speaker, brothers and sisters, is another really good friend of CWA and the workers at Cablevision. He is State Senator Gustavo Rivera from the Bronx.
The last time I saw CWA workers, I was up in the Bronx. They came down. There was your brothers and sisters that were coming down from Albany. They marched all the way to Albany, from Albany down to Zuccotti Park. And it was a Thursday. And this man right here told me, where's your red? And I didn't have red. So they gave me one of these. And I have been wearing it since then. And people ask me about it. Is that a Stephen Colbert band? I'm like, no. This is CWA Solidarity right here. You have stood with me, I will stand with you. It is that simple. Particularly right now, when there's a tax on labor going on across the country. We must stand strong in New York. This is a union town. This is the union town. And we will not let unfair situations happen to workers that are here. Count on my support whenever you need it, regardless of how cold it is. Thank you, CWA.
Thank you, brother. Our next speaker. Our next speaker, brothers and sisters, is a city councilman from the island of Manhattan, Robert Jackson, another great friend of unions and CWA in particular.
Well, thank you, my brothers and sisters. And let me tell you, the struggle continues every single day. And I know you've heard the saying many times over and over, united we stand, divided we fall. I and members of the city council, the state legislators, and other elected public officials, we stand united with the workers from Brooklyn that want to unionize and be a local of CWA. And let me tell you, management will talk you to death. They will try to intimidate you. They will use all type of tactics for you, when you vote, for you to vote no or don't vote at all. I say to you, I was a union member myself. I was was a union member of Local 4053 of SEIU AFT. And if you don't know what that is, it's a union that represents 55,000 state employees in the state of New York. And I was a union member for 5 years, and then I went to work for the union. 22 years working for the union. My brothers and sisters, a union is where it's at. When you negotiate, the union negotiates for all of you. When management, if you don't have a union, they can say, you, come over here. Get out the door and don't come back. When you have a union will fight for you. Your contractual rights. A union will fight collectively for the raises and benefits that you receive. Before we started, I had a discussion with one of your brothers. And I asked him some very personal questions. How long has he worked? What salary does he earn? How much vacation time does he get? How much sick time does he get? And you know what he said to me? We don't get the same type of salaries and benefits as other employees that are unionized. And that's what we want. That's what he said to me. And I stand here today with you, coming down here while we celebrate Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., saying to you that you must stand united, and when it's time to vote, your vote is your choice. I don't need to tell you how you're going to vote. I will never tell you how to vote. But you know what's best for yourself. Listen to your union, you read the documents, and you make the choice yourself. I know what the decision will be after all votes are counted. You know what it will be? CWA! 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 Thank you.
Brothers and sisters, and this is the speech that counts. This is the one that means more to the people in this audience than any nonsense you're going to hear out of me or anybody else here. This is Jerome Thompson, a Cablevision worker in Brooklyn.
CWA! 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 Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Last week, Chris Coffey, one of Dolan's senior managers, he told me, why do you compare yourself to Tom Rutledge, who makes $24 million? And I said, is he less of a man than me? Is he less of a woman than any of these ladies out here? And what do we say? Hell no! You know, back 44 years ago, Martin Luther King, he helped the sanitation workers. These guys didn't even have a union at the time. 3,500 dudes walked off the job because sanitation management didn't respect the dignity of the labor of the sanitation workers. These guys couldn't feed their families. These guys couldn't pay their electric bills. These guys couldn't put oil in their tank. And 44 years later, we got the same problems. We got our brothers out here sharing apartments with 4 other dudes. We got our brothers out here who have relationship problems because they can't afford to be in a relationship. Because Dolan doesn't want to pay a livable wage. You understand? Meanwhile, he's going to give Tom Rutledge $28 million in 1 year. $28 million in 1 year. And a lot of our guys in Brooklyn, they're making less than $30,000 a year after taxes. We have to make a choice. You know, should we buy my son or daughter's medicine for $40, or should we put oil in the tank? Should we buy, you know, some steak or chicken for dinner, or should we pay the electric bill? Why do we have to make these choices in America in 2012? Shouldn't have to. You know what? The Mayans said that in 2012, the world is going to change in a way that we different from what it is today. and it's going to start on November 26th. Because we're going to vote yes, baby. We're going to vote yes to livable wages. We're going to vote yes for better benefits. CWA! CWA! CWA!
Thank you, brother. Our next speaker, brothers and sisters, is New York State Assemblyman Micah Kellner. Another good friend of working people, a good friend of everybody in this city and this state.
Thank you all for being out here in the cold fighting for your rights. The fact is, unions are part of America. The fact is, we wouldn't have a middle class in this country without unions. That's what unions equal. They equal a middle class. And what we know from the data from the last 10 years is people more and more are slipping out of the middle class. That's why we've got to fight these anti-union tactics. It's un-American, it's un-New York. You have a right to unionize, you have a right to a living wage, and you have a right to be represented by a union, because that is your right as an American. Too many people fought for this right for us to backslide now. Now is the time to stand up and say, we will unionize, we will get a living wage. I thank everybody for standing out here in the cold. We stand with you in the State Assembly, and you know, I can't think of a better group to stand with than CWA. CWA! 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 Thank you, guys.
Brothers and sisters, our next speaker. Our next speaker's name is Dwayne Callahan. And I assume that you've seen some of these folks wearing shirts that say Walk of Dreams. Well, these folks have just recently, today I guess, gotten to New York. They've walked all the way from Virginia because... And they work for T-Mobile, and just like you, they're trying to form a union. They're trying to join CWA. So we're going to hear from our brother Dwayne from Virginia.
Thank you. Definitely want to say hi to all y'all wonderful people, man. It's definitely a wonderful opportunity to speak here today. First and foremost, I want to thank God. Because without him, you can't do anything. Second, I'd like to thank Charles, Don, and Tim on behalf of the CWA for giving Walk of Dreams the opportunity to speak here today on such a monumental occasion. While some may be wondering how these causes correlate, it's in the memory on this day that we honor Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and all who still fight for a dream. A dream that is not faded and will continue to live on through us. Myself, Theodore Lee, Christopher Smith, and Barry Thomas decided that we ourselves, even in our youth, wanted something better. And it is with that mission that we hope to motivate and inspire others to not settle, but strive for betterment, and to do it now. On January 1st, 2012, we embarked on a journey from Richmond, Virginia to New York, on foot. And yes, we are here. Much like all of you here today, we decided to stand for ourselves and take the actions necessary for our hopes and dreams to be recognized. In doing so, we realize that it's in our actions that make us the very examples for what one is willing to do to change circumstances and acquire all that one hopes for him or herself, whether it be stature, position in life, or just to live and work under circumstances that are fair and just. It is in this responsibility that we will continue to encourage every man, every woman, and every child to persevere in the midst of obstacles, not be shaken in the face of opposition, and prevail where others have failed or said that it was impossible. That's right. It is possible. Thank you. God bless.
brothers and sisters from Virginia. And you should know that everybody in this audience, everybody up here has your back. And we will continue to have your back.
Thank you.
Our next speaker, brothers and sisters, another friend from the world of politics, a good friend to CWA, a good friend to working people in the state of New York, Assemblyman Jose Peralta.
State Senator! State Senator!
I'm sorry, Senator, I screwed up. Senator, he used to be an assemblyman. I forgot.
And used to be with Labor, too. There's your Labor Council.
Brothers and sisters, are we here today? Is CWA here today? Is CWA here today? Now I know many of you during these tough economic times are worrying about paying the mortgage. I know many of you are worried about paying the rent. I know many of you are worried about your health care. I know many of you are worried about your children's education and how you're going to pay for it. And I know many of you are worried about your retirement plans. Well, let me tell you this. If you don't unionize, then today is the tomorrow we worried about yesterday. So we need to make sure that we vote the right way. Am I hearing you? Can you hear me, CWA? Now I'm also hearing that there's some intimidation going on. I said I'm also hearing there's some intimidation going on. Well, we need to turn that intimidation into inspiration so that we can motivate ourselves and we can vote yay on the union. Am I correct? And then after we unionize, then there'll be some dedication to maintain the union. Am I correct? So let's turn intimidation into inspiration and into motivation. Keep hope alive, brothers and sisters. It's just a matter of time. Keep hope alive, and especially now, especially today, MLK Jr. Day, let's make sure that we make a difference. Let's make sure that we keep it together. Let's make sure that we vote yes.
Yeah. Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive. How you doing? Keep hope alive. How are you? All right, hanging in there. Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive.
Our next speaker, brothers and sisters, is from your home borough, the Cablevision brothers and sisters home borough. He is City Councilman Dominic Recchia from the great state of Brooklyn.
Thank you. Brooklyn is in the house. I am a customer of Cablevision, and I want union workers. I want to be serviced by union workers. And we have a right to put it up for a vote and vote yes to form a union. So Cablevision should hear us loud and clear, because I support you. I sent a letter laying out my position very clear. I want you guys and ladies and gentlemen to have a right to vote, and the vote to take place that's fair. Fair to every man and woman that are working for Cablevision today. Because you are entitled to equal rights, equal justice, equal pay, health benefits, health care for you and your family. But we need to have the vote now. Not next year, not the year after, but we need a vote now. We want CWA to be our union. So let our voices be here loud and clear at the Cablevision. Let us vote. Put the vote up now, because I, as a customer, I want to be serviced by union workers that I know that do a great job. God bless you all.
Our next speaker, brothers and sisters, some of you from Cablevision will probably recognize, since he officiated at a debate between an absent Cablevision and the union just recently. He is a great, great, great friend of CWA, and he holds the office of Public Advocate for the City of New York, our friend, our great friend, Bill de Blasio.
Thank you, Chris. Chris, Bob, Rolando, everyone, you should be so proud of yourselves. You're taking on a big company and you're saying we have the most basic and fundamental democratic right, the right to organize, and we're going to do something about it. And it's obvious, it doesn't matter how cold it is, you're out here fighting for what you believe in. And I admire that so deeply. We had a little debate in Brooklyn a few days ago. I don't know why Cablevision wouldn't come out there and tell their side of the story. I guess they didn't feel they had much to say that would be very compelling to the workers. But what I heard from CWA was that workers need to be organized to protect their interests, and in this economy more than ever, workers need to protect themselves. The rich get richer when the workers are not organized. And what I saw in Brooklyn the other night was, I thought, powerful. It was working people listening to other working people. People who are not yet organized, listening to those who are organized and recognizing the virtues. So we stand with you. We're going to be with you through thick and thin, because when you organize, you not only do well by yourselves and your families, you make this city better for everyone. God bless you, brothers and sisters.
Thank you, Brother Bill. You know, we mentioned organizations that were here in support of CWA and Cablevision. I would be remiss if I didn't mention that now they're someplace in the back of the crowd, but folks from the National Action Network, Reverend Sharpton and them got on a bus to support the brothers and sisters from Cablevision and from CWA. So give them a great round of applause.
No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace.
I can't hear you.
Thank you very much, brother.
All right. Our next speaker, brothers and sisters, you'll probably recognize, I hope. Another great friend of CWA, City Councilman Giovanni Williams.
We are the 99%. We are the 99%. We are the 99%. We are the 99%. What's up, future union members? How you feeling? It's great to see you. You know, everybody's trying to talk about how unions are this and unions is that. The fact of the matter is, if people would pay workers the things they deserve, they wouldn't have to be a union. But they won't, because people are greedy. They're greedy, and we know that, and that's why we need unions, so you can get a fair day's pay for a fair day's work. And they're trying to use these scare tactics. They've used them time immemorial, but they don't know about CWA. They don't know they've been through the fight. They don't know about Cablevision workers. They don't get scared that easily. Y'all climb up all kind of crazy stuff to get our service there. You're not going to be scared of a little union busting. I'm a Cablevision worker also. I want union service. And it pisses me off. Who the hell are you to tell people they can't vote for a union? Huh? Who's that? They can't vote for a union. You're going to vote for a union, and if I know Cablevision workers, they're going to vote yes for a union. And it also pisses me off because today, everybody wants to co-opt the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. When he was alive, nobody wanted to be around him. He was called a rabble-rouser. He was called an agitator. He was called a revolutionary. He was a militant. Now everybody wants to be a fan of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. How dare you inside Madison Square Garden try to celebrate the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. If Dr. King was alive, if memory serves me correctly, he was organizing sanitation workers in the Poor People's Campaign when he was killed. Which says to me, if he was 83 today, he'd be out here with CWA, with Cablevision, trying to organize a union. He wouldn't be in there with the millionaires and the billionaires. He'd be out here screaming, CWA! 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 CWA!
His daughter, who is much better looking. So our next speaker, brothers and sisters, is Dominique Sharpton, Al Sharpton's daughter. I told you she was much better looking.
Hi everybody, I'm Dominique Sharpton and I am representing my dad. He did send a statement. He wasn't able to be here today, but he did send me with a statement. So I'm going to read it on behalf of Reverend Sharpton. But I stand before you today, and Reverend Sharpton stands before you today because there's an issue. There's an issue on working class citizens. There's an issue on workers' unions' rights. And we are here today, National Action Network and Reverend Sharpton, honoring Dr. King's memory today by standing with the CWA, who are demanding respect and demanding dignity. Dr. King, he fought side by side with workers, raising his voice in unity with theirs. Dr. King was a passionate advocate for workers' rights all over the country, and our needs are identical with labor's needs. That's what Dr. King said in December of 1961, that decent wages, that fair working conditions, that livable housing, that old age security, that health and welfare measures, conditions in which families can grow, have education for their children, and respect in the community. And today, we honor Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s memory by standing with the workers of Cablevision, who are demanding respect and dignity and the right to join a union. And the day that Dr. King Jr. died, he was standing up for the rights of Memphis sanitation workers to join a union. And each year on Martin Luther King Jr. Day, the New York Knicks that play right here at Madison Square Garden honor Dr. King's memory with a special game. But this year, the Knicks owners, Cablevision, are disrespecting Dr. King's legacy by trampling on the rights of their workers. 70% of whom signed cards saying they wanted to join a union. Dr. King fought side by side with workers, raising his voice in unity with theirs. And we need to stand with the Cablevision's 99% as they seek the opportunity to vote for a union in an intimidation, harassment-free environment. So today, much like what Dr. King did, much like what he did dying for us, it is time for us to stand up. It is time for us to stand up, and it is time for us to say that we will not take it anymore. Up, you mighty race, no justice, no peace. We can accomplish what we will. Let's stand up, let's continue the fight. Thank you all for having us. National Action Network, I want to introduce our Executive Vice President and General Counsel, Attorney Michael Hardy. And we came today with National Action Network, members of National Action Network. And I wanted for our youth leader at 12 years old, Victoria Pinal, who's also here, to understand that we, as National Action Network, will continue the fight so that when she's able to enter into corporate America, we will be able to stand for her as well. Attorney Michael Hardy, thank you all for having me.
No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace! What do we want? Justice! What do we want? Justice!
No justice!
No peace!
No justice!
No peace!
What do we want?
Justice!
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
As Dominic just said, we're here on behalf of the National Action Network, Reverend Sharpton, our president, the Reverend Dr. Franklin W. Richardson, our chairman of our board, and Tamika Mallory, our executive director. There is no better place to be today than to be standing with workers on the day that we remember Dr. King, because it is doing what Dr. King would do, and it's the best way to celebrate his memory is by being involved where he was involved, and that is standing with the workers. Amen. We can talk about the 1%, that they have everything, but what they don't have is the 99%. And they need to know that unless the 99% are dealt with, unless our rights are protected, then we can stop the 1%. That's why we're here. That's why to stay here until we have victory for the workers of this union and all of the CWA that are working. God bless you. Let's keep fighting. No justice. No peace.
United together! United together! United together! We're not divided!
That's not how it goes.
Okay, brothers and sisters, now it's my turn.
We'll never be defeated.
You know, we're here on Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday. And as you've heard, the day that Dr. Martin Luther King died, what he was doing is the same thing you're doing today. What he was doing was helping people organize into a union. And he got killed for that. So he was as much a labor leader as he was a civil rights leader. Because he understood that the only way to raise people up was to get them united, get them to go at the boss and say, enough is enough is enough. In one of his speeches, brothers and sisters, he said, I have a dream. And every one of these Cablevision workers and everyone in this audience also has a dream. It's not as lofty as Dr. Martin Luther King's dream. It's a dream that they can make enough money to send their kids to college, that they can make enough money to put a roof over their kids' heads. It's a dream to make sure that their kids can eat 3 meals a day, that they don't have to spend money on medicine instead of on food. It's a dream that every working person in the city of New York, the state of New York, and the United States has. And brothers and sisters, the way you're going to accomplish that dream is on January 26th when you vote yes for CWA. Brothers and sisters, what's happening here? Cablevision and the Dolans don't want to give you the dignity and the respect that you deserve. It's you that made the profits for that money so that Dolan can live the way he lives. It's you that did all the work to make him rich, rich, rich. And he's certainly not making you rich. What Cablevision is doing, brothers and sisters, is acting like a schoolyard bully. And I'm telling you, I come from a neighborhood in the Bronx where we know how to deal with schoolyard bullies. From my neighborhood, and I'm sure from your neighborhood, when you're faced with a schoolyard bully, what you do is you go home and you get your big brother or your big sister and you go back to the schoolyard. Well, brothers and sisters, I'm here to tell you that CWA, every member of CWA, is your big brother and your big sister. And we're ready to go back to that schoolyard and tell Dolan and anybody else, you mess with my brothers and sisters, and we're going to kick your ass. Brothers and sisters, we will not stop until you get your dream. And that dream is to be able to make a living, to be able to take care of your children, to be able to take care of your family. CWA is with you, and on January 26th, when you vote, remember that, brothers and sisters, and remember that we will not stop until you accomplish what you want. Thank you for being here, and now,
People united will never be defeated.
and now, brothers and sisters, we're going to try to do something that most people don't think we're going to be able to accomplish, but we're going to try anyway. We're going to line up over here, and we're going to go around there and try to meet with Dolan to see what he's got to say. Are you ready?